So I've been hiding something from you for over a year. Wasn't intentional, was somewhat intentional, but it isn't about you, you know, like a breakup. It's not me, it's you. Wait, not you, it's me, is what I meant. Freudian. So I didn't mean to go MIA. A lot's happened. The last year and a half has been absolute chaos, and I've had planned to return so many times, and for various reasons it hasn't happened. So I went quiet online because we were renovating. We were moving house, which is so stressful in the UK. You can do a whole video about that. And I also decided to sell my own house because I'm unhinged with delusional levels of confidence. So I was selling my own house, careers were going off, things like that. I was still recovering from the trauma that is my best friend's death. All of this to say, sorry I've been gone. It's not you, it's me. So I honestly just needed some time to focus on getting back to my new normal and creating a new life, because the old life I had was not there anymore, and the old me, to be honest, wasn't there anymore. So I needed to make a new version of me. That's not all I made. So surprise, I was pregnant. So I found out I was pregnant in January of actually on New Year's Eve of 2024. So I work in the medical industry, as you know, so I found it very anxiety driving. And I felt like something would go wrong, so I didn't want to announce too early, so that was my fear. I feel like a lot of people have that. It's not out of the ordinary to wait till your 12-week scan to find out. And then you'll tell everyone. I had such grand plans. I was gonna do gender reveals, I was gonna do nurseries, I was gonna do all sorts, I was gonna do hauls, everything. First time mum, trimester feelings, pregnancy, birth videos. And then my 12-week scan went badly. I'm gonna do a whole video about this, but I'm not gonna get into details now. But essentially, there was some information that we found out that we had to investigate. And that kind of put a bit of a dark cloud over the whole pregnancy, and I kind of got scared to say anything because I was protecting myself and everything else. And though in hindsight, I think I maybe should have shared, because I think that would have been more cathartic and more supportive, because you guys are fantastic. But at the time, I needed to just process my worst fear coming true. I found out, I then flew to Australia. I told my family and friends there.
Oh! Oh!
What?
Oh, what? That is brilliant!
It'll be abundantly clear if I'm in a swimsuit. We did a baby moon in the Philippines with some friends in Vietnam and Cambodia. I, once again, was supposed to film that. I have some footage. If you're interested, we can talk about what that was like doing those countries pregnant, because people find it shocking that I did that. And then I got back to the UK at 16 weeks. We did some extra testing, it came back clear. And then at my 20-week scan, which is when they did the anatomy stuff, everything was fine, baby was healthy, we were okay. And yeah, so that's why the pregnancy stuff didn't feel like I could share, because I was still on high alert. And so then I was ready for my due date with my baby, who was due in September. And then a surprise happened in August. This is not a birth vlog, I'll tell you now. But I will give you a very top line, and then we can delve into the details at another time, because it is harrowing. At 35 weeks, my water broke. So that was more than a month early. I then had to grapple. So once I'd finally come through and we had come to terms with that I had a normal baby, normal pregnancy, it was all, you know, like I was stressing for nothing, essentially. And then I had to come to terms with the preterm baby because he came a month early. I also I wanted to have a C-section. I know a lot of people don't want that. I did want that. I ended up not having a C-section, which was a whole other issue. I had to go to surgery afterwards to have everything put back together. Once again, I didn't have a C-section. How'd I end up in surgery? Interesting. Yeah, and then dealing with a preterm baby. So then I almost felt like I couldn't come back from that reason, because then I was like, okay, once again, probably should have, but I just didn't have capacity, because it just, everything I had, my mum was flying over at like 39 weeks, and then he came at 35 weeks, so then they had to fly over really fast and they were staying with me. My recovery was incredibly hard and rough. I couldn't sit on a lounge or a sofa for at least a month. So I had to lay down on one side. Fantastic. Oh, and we also moved house on top of everything else. So he was born on the 10th of August. He was due on the 9th of September. He is amazing. I made videos in the past talking about whether I wanted to have children, what that looked like, child free by choice, all this sort of stuff. I can get into the why I ended up having a baby in another video if that's what you like. But it has been fantastic. He is fantastic. My birth wasn't fantastic. And the midwife who admitted me kept commenting on how attractive Daniel was and didn't give me an epidural until I was 10 centimeters dilated. It was still perfect in that he came into this world and he's amazing. Hearing his cry and his cuddles, and I've learnt to reframe the preterm pregnancy, delivery, birth, that I get to spend an extra month longer with him because, you know, eventually I'm gonna die. My husband's like known for being early to things, so I'm like, this is his genetics, okay? This is absolutely Daniel's genetics coming through. He's early for being early. But for better or worse, I had help. So my mum was here for 10 weeks, and then my in-laws lived with us for 3 months. So he was born on the 10th of August, and then in the middle of October, we moved house to my new house. I can show you our old house, I can show you the before and after. We don't live there anymore. I have no qualms doing a full-on house tour if we're interested in that. And we've already done so much to this house. Like, this was not here. I put this, well, not me specifically, I didn't do it, but I put this fireplace in. Daniel has paneled these walls. We've already done quite a lot to this house. They say having a baby and moving house and getting married, I think, are the top 3 things that can stress you out in life. We almost hit the trifecta because we got moving house, having a baby. We moved house when he was 10 weeks old, so I was already like not that helpful. Luckily we had my mum and that to help move things, and moving was such a terrible experience. So trying to do that while sleep deprived, not fun. Having your in-laws stay with you for 3 months is also a fun experience. I don't recommend to everybody. In that sense, it made it harder to come back, is what I'm getting to. I do have a footage of the house. I did film a house tour of the before, because we're going to do some lot of changes. We're going to renovate. I can take you on that journey. It's just harder to sit down and film when I'm worrying about baby schedules for sleep, food, poos. Then I've also got to worry about Daniel's schedule for what he's up to, and then I have to worry about in-laws when they're here, when they're not here, when they're sleeping, when they're not sleeping, etc. So, and I want to sit in my living room and chat to you guys, but it makes it very hard to take up the real estate and plan the time and plan the hair washing schedule. Like, honestly, no one talks about that. So yeah, so that is why I struggled to come back. It was a complicated pregnancy, then a complicated birth, and then we just had a really busy first year. We've traveled a lot. If you follow my Instagram, Hugo has been to 8 countries in his first year, so he's a well-traveled little posh baby. But he did have me as a mum, so he's gonna be a good traveler. The first year of his life has been really good. We've been to Christmas markets in Budapest and Austria. We've been to Seville. We've been to Abu Dhabi. Went to Australia twice. One for Meet the Baby and one for his first birthday. And we've also been to France, and we went to Italy. So like I said, it's been a busy year. I've met some wonderful mum friends. We have a beautiful mums group. He's got some baby friends that are super cute. So maternity leave has been amazing, but so busy between trying to decorate this house, do so much travel, have so many guests come and stay with us, make sure I'm, fostering relationships with the new mums group, keeping up with our old friends who perhaps don't have children, which honestly I've kind of fallen down on that one, to be honest. Trying to like hang out with people who don't have kids, that don't want kids, is kind of a challenge. But I'm not gonna give up. And trying to still, be a couple on top of everything else. It's a challenge, but it's been so fun and so wonderful. And I can hear that Hugo is awake. Would you like to meet Hugo? It's here. Are you ready? Da, 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 da. I made him. This is Hugo. Oh, and Bambi's still here in case anyone's stressed. She's obviously always around. This is Hugo. Likes to get up at 6 AM every day. His favorite food is bagels. He loves airplanes and he unfortunately really likes cars. I didn't want a car baby, but here we are. He's also just woken up from a nap, so he could be a bit out of it. What if we have a snack? Snacks? Now we're happy. Snacks. Ooh, you are my child. Wow. So now my secret is yours too. This is Hugo. He is amazing. He makes me laugh every day. He has my eyes. Sometimes he looks a little bit derpy. Today is one of those days. He also looks bald. He actually has so much hair. He's just so blonde that you can't see it. My little blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby. He has generally been a really good kid. He was a bit slow to crawl. He's about to start walking. He's so close. He has a birthday party with his baby friends within the next few weeks, and he has travelled more than a lot of adults, to be completely honest.
Where are we? We're in Seville. In Spain. We're I'm filming now.
Follow me. He's very sweet, very cheeky, loves a giggle. His laugh is my favourite thing in the world, and I wish I could bottle that sound. So I'm making sure I can film it as much as I possibly can. Even little things like his baby, he had a newborn cry like they all do, and that eventually goes and you weirdly miss it. But he unfortunately is a toddler now, like an official toddler. I can also do the nursery reveal. I didn't give him a nursery because we were moving house. We didn't do a nursery until we moved into this house, which is supposed to be. You never know what happens, but like this is the plan, to be the forever home. So we're looking forward to making it our own, and we wanted to make sure he had a really nice garden. Our last house had some really unpleasant neighbours. I'm talking criminal convictions, so I didn't want them around Hugo, so it was like very pertinent that we moved. And I live in a nice area, to be completely honest, but you know, that's what it's like. Why are you so derpy today? Why are you so derpy? 1, 2, 3! Come on, give us a laugh. Yeah, at least we get a smile out of you. He was in a very good mood before he went to sleep, so I'm so sorry that you had it. Oh, he's learnt to point. He loves to point at things. He says mama in a demonic voice. It's very funny. He goes, mama. Daddy is currently his favourite. Everything is daddy. Whether it's actually daddy or if it's a bug, it's daddy. And that's very funny. As you saw from the food, that's his excitement. He does his Wallace and Gromit hands. But in general, he's been a good eater, a good sleeper. Can't complain. More? I love when he feeds himself. It makes me laugh. It's just so cute. So in summary, this is Hugo. Secret's out. My secret is your secret. My accidental secret. So, although my life has changed in that we have Hugo, I hope by hearing about the past year and a half that you can see that it's still kind of the bare bones is the same. We still are traveling lots, we are still renovating lots, and we are still doing lots of British things. I literally took him to a jousting event yesterday. Yes, things will change, but not that dramatically. I don't want to sit here and say I'm going to become a mummy channel, but I'm probably going to be the same channel, but I am a mummy. So in a way, it's a mummy channel. And he'll obviously be there all the time. There will be some more parent-focused stuff, because that is my life and this channel has always been my life. But if that isn't your thing, hopefully there's enough still here that you can stick around, but also I understand if that isn't for you. But I promise this isn't going to be vlogs on how he walked or how he talked. But if we go to a Claridge's height afternoon tea, he might be with us. And then maybe that'll be a whole new comedy of errors. So I hope you forgive me for keeping him a secret, and the pregnancy and the house move. As you can see, it wasn't intentional. It was just a mixture of terrible and fantastic occasions and terribly fantastic occasions, all culminating together to get me this perfect little Bobby. Yeah. Yeah, leave me alone, Mum. Fair enough. So yes, I had a baby in secret. I'm very sorry about that. But would you have trusted me not to make it a little bit dramatic? I could never just tell you I was pregnant. I had to be like, here's a 1-year-old. Here's my 1-year-old giant toddler baby. Can't believe I grew him out of chocolate and Diet Coke. Who do we think he looks like? Do we think he looks like me? Good smiles. So it's gonna be the same things that you loved about before. Back to ideally regular. We're going for 1 video a week, just so you know what to expect. I already have the next 2 filmed and edited as you're watching this, so look forward to those. I will go into my birth story in detail and how the NHS was good and bad. And what the realities are of giving birth on the NHS in 2025. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of it, because I promise we have so many fun things planned. And if I ever have a second baby, I promise I won't do this again to you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your patience, as always. And yeah, I missed you. So I look forward to getting back into the swing of things. See, it's just like old times. Doesn't feel like I've been gone.